that has struggled, wrecked cars, broken equipment, got involved in tangles and accidents in the past. He did a phenomenal job hanging with the pack and hanging with you and Logan Robertson and everybody else that was a part of the Great American Crate Race on Saturday night.
Yes, he did. Actually, Trey Watson, years ago, he used to run a Mod Light, and they wanted to get into crate racing, so I actually stayed after the races. I won the race and let him take my car out after the races, and he actually got one of my old cars when he first started. So it's kind of nice to be able to help younger generation coming up through and help them out get a start.
Now, Kyle, I don't know if you know this or not, my friend, but we do. Of course, Speed 51 is the official media network of Fast Track Companies International, and I do a lot of stuff with MAV TV through Speed 51 and of course, also with Speed 51 indirectly. And we were doing the Facebook Live pit walk, and that's one of the things that I got to give props to Cody and John and Cody and John Watson, Daniel Patterson, the misses, everybody there at Tyler County Speedway at the Bull Ring, because it used to be years ago when you go there, unless you have like some kind of super cell service, you're screwed. And I have Verizon, and I travel all over the country and have signal until I go there. Same thing like Elkins. I go all over, go to Elkins. I had service when it's really funny, Kyle. I had service when I pulled off the interstate exit to the racetrack. Pull into the racetrack, you have no service at all. But anyhow, what I'm trying to get to is your wife, Jacqueline, awesome lady, super great individual. I've known you guys for a long time and your accolades and successes in Fast Track. And she comes up to me, and we're live on camera. And I come to her and I'm like, hey, this is one of the driver's wives. This is Jacqueline Thomas. And I told her, I said, well, maybe me interviewing you first might be a good look charm for your husband, Kyle, to win tonight. And I'd be damned if you didn't pull it off.
Yeah, that was great. I actually told her from now on I'm just going to kind of hide out. And if you're around, hopefully you catch her instead, because it panned out in the deal. And I'm very thankful in everything that she does. She supports me 100%. I mean, she comes to the garage, helps me on the car, our kids. She takes care of the kids, and I love her to death. I mean, she supports me, and I don't know what else to say.
As somebody that races supers periodically now, what made you decide to get back in a pro late model car and race the pro late model Great American Crate Race for Fast Track and preparing for that 50,000 to win World Championship in September?
Well, that's kind of what we was getting a car together. We was going to just run here and there and try to get some things worked out. We tried a bunch of different stuff on setups, and I got to thank Steve Baker at Rocket Chassis. He's helped me a bunch, and Paul Wilmoth Jr. on shocks and stuff, and we're just trying stuff and trying to pan out here toward the end of the year, running these kind of bigger shows, and for the 50,000 win at the end of the year.
Definitely. And of course, you've had a lot of success with Fast Track. Just talk about your thoughts of the series and where it's going as we go into 2 decades coming up in the next few years, 16th year this year, and, being a part of what Fast Track does in West Virginia and the Great American Crate Race, what that race means to you winning that one.
Oh, Fast Track, I mean, it's a great series to run. I mean, I like it because the thing about it is, they're on spec tires, you're on the sealed engine, and it comes down to the driver setup. And not only that, I mean, I'm not saying it's less work, but like for having crew guys and them helping you out from running super to crate. I mean, I got a guy that he works on tires usually 1 or 2 nights a week, and for us to jump back and give them guys a break too at some of this, and it's a great series to run because you got tech and all that, and everything they abide by the rules. So my hat's off to them for that.
A lot of drivers get nicknames in racing, and I'm humbled to say that I was the person that gave you your nickname, K-Rocket. But I also was told by your wife, Jacqueline, over the weekend that there's been other people in the announcer world that have tried to butcher your nickname. But you proudly say, damn it all, call me K-Rocket, because that's what I like.
Yeah, K-Rocket, that's it. I mean, a few years we stranded from Rocket Chassis. We tried other routes, just different things. I mean, there's different chassis was working better around the area at the times, and we wanted to try because, we was getting outrun by a few of them. Kryptonite Race Cars, Freddie and Tyler, I mean, they build an awesome piece. I've run their cars, and now I got a boy that I've worked with over the years. He's a younger kid, and he's building his own cars now. It's Chuck Kimball Punisher race cars, and we're helping him out there. He started building cars, and I told him if he ever started building cars that I'd get one and work with him on trying to get his name out there.
Absolutely, and I think Jacqueline said they called you the Pennsboro Assassin or the Pennsboro Punisher, something like that. You're like, where the hell did this come from? So I think K-Rocket sticks, and I think even if you weren't in a rocket car, I'd still have to call you K-Rocket because it could mean different things. So Kyle Thomas again joining us here on Finish Line. Kyle, where are you going to this weekend, buddy? I know you run super late models. Have you got in the radar the Buckeye Late Model Dirt Weeks this year?
Well, actually, we weren't looking into it too much, and we planned family vacation, so I'm actually headed out for the beach on Friday. So
wow.
I'll be off for the weekend. So I'm going to take off a little bit of racing and spend some family time and enjoy that.
We had Brian Shirley on just a few moments ago, and he's a national driver. He was talking about the grueling schedule, that there is no off-season no more. You're constantly always racing. What's it like as a regional racer, like for you in West Virginia on the circuit?
Oh, it's, if you want to run up front and all that, you got to give in 100%. I mean, you're in there daylight, dark, just every man hour you can. Of course, I work a full-time job, so I work it, go home, and work on the race car, and that's it. I mean, that's the life you live if you want to race.
Definitely. And for you don't race every night of the week. You're just racing on primarily Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, sometimes Sunday. Has there ever been a dream, Kyle, to go national, to travel on a national circuit with Lucas Oil or World of Outlaws or the Hell Tour, something of that caliber?
Oh yeah, that's always the dream. If that ever sits in one day, then that's what we're going to do. Of course, what it takes to get to that level, and we just keep picking along and hoping something comes along.
Kyle, talk about your dad. Obviously, he is such a big supporter of your racing career ever since you were so young. I had to pause for a moment on Saturday night for that embrace with you and your dad hugging each other down in Victory Lane. That had to have been something very special.
Oh, yeah, he supports me till no end. I mean, of course, I supported him when my dad used to race, and I was little, and a lot of times it was just me and him that went, and he kind of relied on me to do a bunch of work for him, and I was young, and I could still remember one of his biggest race careers. I mean, I was probably like 9 years old riding off the racetrack after he won. I mean, of course we butt heads and everything, and of course just like every father and son, but he's there no matter what. I've raced this year 20 years, and I think he's only missed maybe less than a handful, and I actually won one race. I think it was last year without him, and that's the only race that I've ever won without him being at the racetrack.
Right, definitely. Let's go back to last Saturday night in the $7,000 winner. By the way, it's Kyle Thomas from Pennsboro, West Virginia, the driver of the number 57 Rocket XR1. They call him K-Rocket. Biggest win of his career Saturday in the Great American Crate Race. Had there not been lap traffic, well, okay, let me start this question over again. Two-part questions. Did you know that lap traffic needed to help you win that race? And if there wouldn't have been that lap car there of Garrett Jones, do you think Robertson could have gotten by you?
Oh, I think everything's possible. I mean, I seen my crew. I mean, he was on telling me inside, and but I mean, I tried down there, and my car just wasn't that great. I mean, but
Gotcha.
just like the last few laps, I mean, I had to get up on the wheel and hustle back. I don't really. I think I like lap traffic because if you can get a couple of them in between you, then that's always better. But I think we would have still been all right.
Got you. Definitely. Well, was there ever a time you're like, damn it, move, get out of the way? Is there ever a time you're in the cockpit of the race
you've
car,
always
you say
got
that
that
stuff?
a few times.
Right, I was gonna say, I wish we could have a cockpit uncensored moment where you guys are, because obviously the NASCAR and the radios, and obviously they got to be a little bit they have to be professional because obviously NASCAR is monitoring what they're saying and whatnot, and sometimes they do get a little rambunctious and cray-cray. But I would love to hear drivers inside the cockpits of dirt late models or modifieds just expressing what it's like inside those cars, because I know they had to have been very, very intent. I sounded like Minnie Mouse the last 2 laps of that race on Saturday night.
Yeah, there would probably be a lot of beeps and that if you were going to televise them, I would say, if you had the end car.
Definitely. So, well, Kyle, man, where do you go from here? I mean, I know you're a family man. You got a great marriage with your wife, Jacqueline. You got kids. You got an awesome family, great group support. The fan base is big at I-77 and, of course, also at Tyler County. Let's talk about I-77. You've raced at I-77 a lot as well. What did you think of the crowd there for that race on Friday night?
I honestly believe that was probably one of their biggest crowds. I mean, I don't go down there all the time, but
right.
At the times I've been there, that's probably the biggest crowd section that I've seen at that racetrack.
It was truly something special, and of course, the UBB is a special race for the miners, for their families and their remembrance and paying respects to them, and having that moment of all the drivers gathered around the car 29 of Eddie Hambrick and the UBB house car and or the tribute car per se, and doing the driver intros and doing the acknowledgement of all of the fallen miners and Hal Furrow helping me with that. Just truly a special moment. And how do you go through that mindset of going through an emotional tribute like that and then having to climb inside these race cars and go to work?
Oh, it's definitely a different feeling. I mean, I feel sorry for each and every one of them. I mean, you stand there and you look at all of them, and and they're looking at that car sitting there, and that's all family members and names and all that, and it's definitely a different atmosphere. And I've raced that race before when it was at Princeton Speedway. We went down there and run it, and it's definitely a memorable race. One of the shows that you would want to go to and watch.
Definitely. Kyle, one more question, buddy, and we're going to let you go, my friend. If there is one racetrack that you race at or that you haven't raced at, what is your favorite track to race at or somewhere you want to go to?
My favorite track is definitely Tyler County Speedway. Yeah. But the goal, I would like to go run Winter Nationals and, of course, Eldora Speedway.
Okay. So you would like to try to run the Dream or the World and then go down to Speed Weeks down in Florida, something like that?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I know that's something on the bucket list. You don't live too far from Eldora, a couple of hours or 5 hours away, and then of course now you're way, way, way away down south for Speed Weeks for sure. Where would you rather go to? Would you rather go to East Bay or Volusia or both, or where would you want to run?
Probably East Bay.
Really? East Bay? Cool deal. Awesome. Well, Kyle, buddy, thank you so much for being on Finish Line, my friend. And before we let you go, thank your sponsors on that car, number 57, winner of the Great American Crate Race last Saturday at America's Baddest Bull Ring, your favorite bull ring, Tyler County Speedway.
I got to thank Powell and Son Farms, Thomas and AJ Logging, Dodd Sporting Goods, the Pizza Box, Ed Wilson Manufactured Homes, Jenkins Auto Parts. The list is just, I've got guys that help me that, they don't want their names out there, and I am very thankful for them. And and I got to thank all the fans and